It snakes across mountains, deserts, and plains for thousands of miles, an ancient scar on the earth visible from space. At least, that's what they say. Built over centuries, soaked in blood and wrapped in myth, the Great Wall of China is more than just a wall. It's a vault of secrets, some of which have never been told. Welcome back to Uncharted Enigmas, where we dig deep into the hidden stories of the past, stories that go beyond the tourist brochures, peeling back the layers of history to reveal truths, controversies, and mysteries you won't hear on the usual guided tour. Today we travel to China, not just to gaze at one of the most famous monuments on Earth, but to walk its length in our minds. From crumbling ruins lost in deserts to restored stone fortifications bustling with tourists. We're here to explore the Great Wall of China, its forgotten truths, its legends, its controversies, and the strange secrets hidden between its stones. The Great Wall is more than an engineering marvel. It's a statement, a scar, a message from the past written in stone and earth. It was built to protect, to intimidate, to control, and perhaps even to inspire fear long before a single arrow was shot. When you hear the Great Wall, you might imagine a single unbroken ribbon of stone stretching from one side of China to the other. The reality is far more complex. If you include every branch, every sidewall, every trench, and even the natural barriers incorporated into its design, the Great Wall measures over 13,000 miles, 21,000 kilometers, making it the longest man-made structure in human history. To put that in perspective, it's long enough to wrap halfway around the Earth at the equator. It winds across mountains so steep they seem impassable, through dusty deserts, across grassy plains, and even over frozen tundra. Some sections soar with imposing stone battlements. Others are simple earthen mounds worn smooth by centuries of wind and rain. The earliest walls weren't even part of a great wall at all. They were independent fortifications built by feudal states in the 7th century BCE, centuries before China was unified under the Qin dynasty. These early walls were meant to repel raids by nomadic tribes from the north, tribes who valued speed, mobility, and surprise. It wasn't until 221 BCE, under the legendary Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of a unified China, that these walls began to be connected into a larger defensive network. But even then, it wasn't a single, neatly constructed wall. It was a patchwork. Fast forward over 1,000 years, and the most iconic sections, the tall, sturdy stone walls tourists walk on today, were built during the Ming dynasty, first Re. 681-644. The Ming emperors were determined to make the wall a true symbol of power, and they poured enormous resources into expanding, fortifying, and beautifying it. The popular image of the Great Wall is simple. It was a military defense against invading hordes. But as with most things in history, the truth is more complicated. Yes, the wall helped slow down invasions from nomadic tribes like the Mongols and the Jiangnu. But its role as a psychological weapon was just as important, perhaps more so. Imagine, you're a nomadic raider galloping across the plains, and suddenly a massive stone barrier rises from the earth, stretching as far as the eye can see. Even if you could find a way around it, the message was clear. This land is guarded. Some parts of the wall weren't defensive at all. They were built as customs checkpoints. These were vital for regulating trade along the Silk Road, collecting taxes, and controlling migration. Merchants carrying silk, spices, jade, and precious metals often had to stop at guarded gates, pay fees, and declare their goods before passing through. In many ways, the wall was a tool of governance, not just warfare. The building of the Great Wall is a story of human endurance, suffering, and ambition on an almost unimaginable scale. Construction was not a single project, but a series of massive undertakings spanning centuries. Dynasties came and went. Emperors rose and fell, yet the wall kept growing, stone by stone, brick by brick. The workforce was vast and diverse: soldiers, peasants, convicts, and forced laborers, sometimes entire families conscripted into service. Working conditions were brutal. Workers faced freezing winters in the mountains, scorching summers in the deserts, constant shortages of food and water, and the ever-present danger of accidents. Death was common. Historical accounts and modern archaeology suggest that tens of thousands, possibly hundreds of thousands, died building the wall. Many of their bodies were buried nearby or even within the wall itself, leading to its chilling nickname, the longest cemetery on Earth. Materials varied depending on location. In the mountains, workers used local stone. On the plains, tamped earth walls were reinforced with wooden frames. In desert areas, they used reed bundles and sand. The Ming Dynasty walls are especially notable for their use of bricks and stone, bound together with a mortar made from lime and sticky rice, yes, rice, which gave the structure remarkable durability. The wall has inspired countless legends, the most famous being the legend of Meng Jiangnu. According to the tale, Meng Jiangnu's husband was forced into labor on the wall soon after their marriage. She waited, for months, then years, but he never returned. Fearing the worst, she set out on a long journey to bring him warm clothes for winter. When she finally arrived at the wall, she learned that he had died and been buried within it. Overcome with grief, she wept for days. Her tears were so powerful they caused a section of the wall to collapse, revealing his bones. This legend, part tragedy, part protest, reminds us that behind the grandeur of imperial projects lie countless untold human stories. The wall is not just a barrier, it's a living network of watchtowers, fortresses, and hidden rooms. Some towers were signal stations, where smoke by day and fire by night could send a message hundreds of miles in a matter of hours. Others stored weapons, grain, and supplies, ready for soldiers stationed far from cities. Modern archaeologists have found secret chambers, concealed stairways, and even underground tunnels in some sections. Ground-penetrating radar studies suggest there may still be unexplored passageways, perhaps caches of weapons, documents, or even imperial treasures hidden away during invasions. You've probably heard the claim, the Great Wall is the only man-made object visible from space. It's a great story, but it's false. Astronauts have reported that the wall is incredibly difficult to see with the naked eye from low Earth orbit. It's narrow, blends with the natural landscape, and is often obscured by haze. Many large highways and cities are actually more visible than the wall. This myth likely originated in the 18th century, long before space travel, and became popularized in the 20th century. The Great Wall was as much about money as it was about military defense. Control of the Silk Road meant control of wealth. By forcing merchants to pass through fortified gates, the empire could collect taxes, monitor goods, and control who entered or left its borders. This economic control also served a strategic purpose, limiting the flow of resources to potential enemies. Despite centuries of study, the wall still hides mysteries. Who designed some of the more advanced sections with interlocking brickwork far ahead of their time? Were some watchtowers aligned to track solstices or star positions? Could hidden chambers still hold scrolls or artifacts sealed away for centuries? Recent technology is revealing more of the wall than ever before. Satellite imagery and drone surveys have uncovered previously unknown sections buried under sand dunes in the Gobi Desert. Some discoveries suggest there were parallel walls, a double defense system, making invasion nearly impossible in certain regions. In 2012, archaeologists found a 155-mile section in Mongolia, proving that the wall's reach extended far beyond what historians once believed. The Great Wall has been many things over the centuries: a military barrier, a political statement, a cultural icon, a tourist attraction. For China, it's a symbol of unity and strength. For the world, it's a reminder of human ambition and the costs, both in treasure and in lives, that such ambition demands. The Great Wall was built to keep people out, but the real secrets may lie within. If these stones could speak, what stories would they tell? Of soldiers watching the horizon for raiders, of merchants bargaining at dusty gates, of lovers torn apart by imperial demands, of engineers whose genius still shapes the landscape. The wall is both a monument and a mystery, and it may be that its greatest stories are still waiting to be discovered. What do you think? Was the Great Wall purely a military defense, or was it a sophisticated tool of control, economy, and power? Subscribe to Uncharted Enigmas for more journeys into history's most guarded secrets.